you concerned, Mr. President, about the latest inflation number which came out this morning? Could that be a
No, I love it.
for
The numbers were
Republicans
great. You know what I really love? I love the inflation.
So yesterday, the president said, I love the inflation. Today, he should be happy because inflation is now over 6%. Those are the latest warehouse numbers that came in, and we're all feeling it. Higher gas prices, higher prices at the store, even harder to get by and to afford everyday life. Now we've got a president and a White House that clearly don't care. It's not just what they're saying, it's what they're doing. They're focused on things like building a new ballroom and shielding the president's family from ever having their taxes audited. What they're not focused on is how to lower these costs, even though it was the #1 promise that got him into office. And it's worse. They've actively created this inflation through the Iran war that they obviously have no clue how to bring to an end. The good news is we can do something about this. Yes, the president's not on the ballot right now, but the people who enable him are on the ballot. Congress is up for election, for re-election. This is an election year, and that's coming sooner than you think. So if you're not involved, I hope you'll get involved. I'm going to be out on the road going everywhere I can to support good candidates and good causes. If we all do the same, change can happen starting now.
You know, I've been saying this for years. Can we please stop pretending that business people need to run our government, that they're somehow, a benefit? This is Old Texas Paul. Hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I really do. These business people can't even run their businesses. We're constantly having to bail them out. And turns out they have piss poor morals, conflicts of interest. Today we're talking about Stephen Feinberg, the Deputy Secretary of Defense. Yeah. Turns out, news reports coming out that old Stephen Feinberg was the patron that was pushing for a particular CIA agent to, get him promoted, and he was his buddy, and they had a long-term relationship, and yada, yada, yada. Well, if you don't know who Stephen Feinberg's business chops, he owns Cerberus Capital. Cerberus Capital owns, remember Subic Bay in the Philippines? Yeah, he bought that when we closed it. Chinese company, he bought it. He now owns Subic Bay. He's got a shipyard there. Well, he was advocating for this CIA agent buddy of his, to be put over Chinese surveillance. The CIA buddy I'm talking about is David Rush. He's the guy that was just busted with all the gold bars in his house. I think it was 30 gold bars in his house, $2 million in cash, dozens of luxury watches. The guy that was running non-existent CIA programs, embezzling money from the CIA, has now been arrested and charged. And yeah, that guy. That's the guy that has a long-term relationship with Stephen Feinberg, the Deputy Secretary of Defense. Of course the Trump Broligarch has problems like this. Of course. They're all conflicted. They all have their own interests they're serving. Can we please stop pretending that business people are a benefit when in our government? Government isn't a business. Government serves you even when it's not profitable. They can't operate that way. They all have broken minds. They serve their own interests always. Look at what Elon Musk did in Doge. No, government is not business, and it doesn't take the same type of person to run it. You have a different value set, a different skill set. These business people have no business in our government.
I'm not MAGA, please don't scroll. I've got a moral compass and a soul. Don't threaten me with a good time.
It's just that Iran is now threatening to expand their military operation in order to target Elon Musk's companies throughout the region. In a new statement released by Fars news agency, which is linked to the Iranian regime, they write, Iran has updated its bank of targets for further military operation, expanding it to all interests associated with economic holdings managed by Elon Musk in West Asia, including those located in Arab countries.
Oh no. Please. Don't. Iran. Not those targets. Please, stop. Hey, by the way, MAGA, even though you were outraged over what you claimed was Biden's fault for us losing 13 in the Afghanistan withdrawal, and you're dead silent on the 13 that we've lost directly because of Donald Trump with Iran. If Trump and Hegseth put boots on the ground in Kharg Island, we're going to lose thousands upon thousands of our own. It's not even a question. I know our military is the strongest in the world, but Iran's been planning this for 50 years. Some commenter hit the nail right on the head and said it's going to be like shooting fish in a barrel. And simultaneously, don't forget, talking about being stretched thin, Rubio is still going gung-ho for Cuba. You think it was a coincidence that Keg's Breath just recently visited Guantanamo Bay? Another campaign promise lied, since Trump said he was going to shut that down. Nope. And I know for the younger generation, you may not be familiar with this, but you may want to Google and look up the results of the Bay of Pigs, because it did not go that good for us. Now, I'm not saying that Cuba isn't attainable, especially pulling a Maduro and abducting Castro, since the DOJ has already taken the steps of putting him through the indictment process, just like they did with Maduro, so that somebody can accompany some special forces and wear their blue FBI jacket, probably Kash Patel. Really, really hope if a helicopter goes down that Kash Patel isn't on it. I just hope that doesn't happen. But Kharg Island in Iran is going to cost the life of thousands upon thousands of our own. No doubt. But hey, what's thousands more of our service personnel when you treated the loss of 1 million plus Americans due to Trump's negligence with COVID like another Tuesday? Y'all MAGA really play fast and loose with that term patriot. And since the POTUS is a pedo, you sure as shit are playing fast and loose with the phrase Christian. Sincerely an actual patriot, an actual Christian that is ashamed of MAGA.
I just believe that this is a news show and a news channel. I have an ethical responsibility to say that you are lying.
No,
you are lying.
I have an ethical responsibility.
I didn't interrupt you.
Hold on a
You
second.
will not interrupt me.
You don't call me a liar on national TV. Do not call me a liar on national TV.
Liar.
I'm going to let
You're a liar.
I'm
You
gonna
are a
let you
liar.
respond in just a minute.
And that I say that to
Charles, finish
spell
your-
it,
finish
I
your
can
point.
spell it too. And I have an ethical responsibility if people are going to come over here and poison voters' views of an election system that has no proof that it is rigged in any way, spouting the same lie that the president is spouting. We have an ethical responsibility at this table in a news show and a news channel to call that out. And I'm going to do that.
Caroline,
you can huff and puff.
You've done it.
You can huff
Go
and puff
ahead.
and be mad all you want,
All right.
and I don't care.
Hal, you can respond to that.
You keep ignoring what I've said. You're saying.
I'm going to keep ignoring it because you're lying.
Let me let him finish. Let me let
Yeah.
him respond.
We didn't know there was
We'll address
mass
it afterwards.
Medicare fraud until the federal government investigated Minnesota, investigated these other states.
That's
California.
not true.
It's time out.
That is not
They
true.
won't let
That
me
is not.
finish.
She was in
hold on.
jail
Hold on a
already.
second. Hold on. Well,
I'm
hold
talking
on,
about
Hal.
mass
Let me just ask you to
amounts of
do.
fraud.
Let me ask you to do two things. First of all, let us try to be tethered in facts.
Okay.
Second of all, let's respond to what he said about your claims on the election.
Proof.
I don't want to hear about Medicare fraud. I don't want to hear about any kind of other fraud other than your claims of voter fraud and what proof you have of
Because
that.
California will not allow the federal government to review their voter rolls.
A majority of other
Okay.
states in this country, including many Republican-led states, also will not allow the federal
No.
government to inspect their voter rolls. Why? Because it is not legal for them to do that. And
that's not
all the
true.
cases in which they have been challenged, Hal, all of them so
What are
pretty
they
much
hiding?
all of them so far have been thrown out by judges because there is no legal basis for the federal government to inspect the state voter rolls. So what else do you have?
My point is that he's saying there's no evidence. They won't allow evidence to be gathered.
The
is the point.
absurdity of your
They won't allow
point is
evidence
that
to
you
be
don't have
gathered.
proof.
Hold
And
on.
then,
Once
I gotta
again,
say this. He doesn't have proof, and then he
yelling at
says,
me. Once
I don't
again.
have proof, and I can
Well,
prove
let me-
that I don't have proof because they won't let us
Let me-
investigate.
let me just-
So you don't have proof,
You
and you
want-
just
you
proved
want-
that you don't have
Let
it.
me just
allow
give you
data to
Oh
be
my
factual?
God.
Hal, let me just give you some more information on this. The federal government has received, I think it's millions of voter registrations from some Republican-led states that have given them access to it. Do you know what percentage of those votes or those registrations where they found actual, fraud of any kind?
Do you?
Yeah.
What is it?
It is a fraction of a percentage.
Fraction.
And in some cases, when they double checked, the flags that they thought were fraud were actually not fraud.
So what you're saying is there's all kinds of fraud all over the place, but not in voting.
Well, here's what my point is.
Not in voting.
You're claiming that it's never been looked at. That's false. You're claiming that this administration hasn't been able to look at it. That's also false.
Not in California. We're talking about California.
You are claiming that just the fact that the federal government hasn't looked at all the state voter rolls is proof that there is fraud is not true.
But there's data
again,
too.
I'll ask you again. What else do you have?
Okay, I just said earlier, wants to end this the way he wants to end it and not the way Netanyahu wants to end it.
But he did say no new wars. Over and over.
But he didn't start this one. People say he started it. Look, Iran's been at war with us for a long time, and he did take out Solomon.
Iran's been at war with us. How many U.S. citizens has Iran killed on U.S. soil in their 47 years?
How many soldiers have they killed?
And why were our soldiers in the Middle East to begin with?
Okay.
How many Americans have they killed on U.S. soil?
So that's allowed? They're allowed to kill soldiers in the Middle East?
No. How many, for the people who chant death to America for 47 years, how many U.S. citizens have they killed on U.S. soil?
Okay.
How many on U.S. soil, Hal?
So that's all
it's
that
an easy
counts?
answer. You should know it. Or is it like Ted Cruz where you don't know the population of Iran?
Wow.
How many U.S. citizens have they killed on U.S. soil?
I don't know the answer to that. I would guess it's low.
Zero.
But I don't think that's the telltale test. I don't think you have to kill us on our soil. If you're killing us overseas, you're killing us.
Why are we overseas to begin with?
Are we really going to go into
soldiers in
global
the Middle East
politics
to
on why
begin
we're
with?
overseas? I don't think we have.
We're talking about our
We're overseas because
why were they in the Middle East to begin with? And point to one Middle Eastern country we've made better by our involvement over there.
Because of oil. We know why we're there. It's because of oil.
What do you mean because of oil?
We need to protect our interests in oil, period. We know
Then maybe
it.
we should open the Strait of Hormuz, which was open before this war started, and we could open right now if we just left, which is in our interest.
So you're okay.
I think Israel has shown a remarkable. Iran doesn't need a nuclear weapon now because they have learned that they don't need one. They've now learned through this war. By the way, Iran, a nuclear weapon. Let me just dismantle that talking point really quick. The 18 U.S. intelligence agencies in our country.
Back to those.
Back to those.
Well, that's what.
What is
told us
that supposed to mean?
Because
Back
they told
to
us
those.
that Saddam
Whose
Hussein
intel
had
do you trust?
weapons of mass destruction.
A lie.
Well, they were the 18 intelligence agencies you're about to quote. Go ahead.
That is,
okay.
It wasn't the intel agencies, it was the politicians. No, let me be clear.
What were you going to say about
It wasn't the intel agencies that lied about that. It was the politicians like your old friend Ted Cruz that believed those lies and got us into those wars, and it was President Trump who campaigned on being different, and that's a separate thing I'm going to get into. But the 18 U.S. intelligence agencies concluded that Iran was not building a nuclear weapon, and that has not changed during the course of this war. However, what has changed is that Iran has now learned they don't need a nuclear weapon, because they can behave like a nuclear power without ever needing to be one, because they can just close the Strait of Hormuz if and when they ever want. And they have learned what China has learned, which is that you're never going to beat the U.S. military militarily. You beat us economically.
Let's just
dismantle that.
Last quick point on.
I'm a believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028. So I've already endorsed President Trump. A man like this comes along once every century, if we're lucky. We've got him now. He's on fire, and I'm a huge supporter. Want to see him again in 2028.
And obviously, anybody who doesn't like what you say but judges it as a function of a lack of intelligence doesn't know anything about you. I don't make that mistake. You're a smart guy. You know he's term limited. How do you think he gets another term?
We're working on it. I think we'll have a couple of alternatives. Let's say that. We'll see. We'll see what the definition. We'll see what the definition of term. We'll see what the definition of term limit is.
All right. Well, so you're talking about litigating this issue, because I don't want people to listen to our interview and say Bannon's cooking up an insurrection. Bannon is cooking up. You know what I mean? I want people to get a straight take on where your head is. What are you suggesting?
Chris, as you know, I've had greater long shots than this. When we supported President Trump after the election, I realize you don't believe the election in 2020 is stolen. We do. We fervently believe that.
We have some pretty big news right now. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche just double-turned himself on live TV regarding the Epstein files. He admitted to deleting a number of files, including a photograph of Donald Trump, and said that the reason why that photograph was taken down because, quote, you can see that photo, there are photographs of women. We learned after release that there were concerns about those women. What concerns?
Produced. Mr. Blanche, I want to follow up with you on what you just said. You were referencing the 15 files released Friday. They disappeared from DOJ's website yesterday, including this photo of what looks like a desk with a drawer open containing photos of Donald Trump. Just to be very clear, to put a fine point on it, why were these files taken down? You're saying it was at the direction of a judge?
Well, you can see in that photo, there's photographs of women. And so we learned after releasing that photograph that there were concerns about those women and the fact that we had put that photo up. So we pulled that photo down. It has nothing to do with President Trump. There are dozens of photos of President Trump already released to the public, seeing him with Mr. Epstein. He has said that in the 90s and early 2000s, he socialized with him. So the absurdity of us pulling down a photo, a single photo, because President Trump was in it, is laughable. And the fact that everybody's trying to act like that's the case is a reflection of their true motivation. But the reality is anybody, any victim, any victim's lawyers, any victim rights group can reach out to us and say, hey, Department of Justice, there's a document, there's a photo, there's something within the Epstein files that identifies me, and we will then, of course, pull that off and investigate it.
Are you saying that one or more of the women in one of the photos or several of the photos is a victim or a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein, and that's why you took those files down? And will they be put back up?
No, that's not what I'm saying. We, of course, if we knew that, if we believed that photograph contained a survivor, we wouldn't have put it up in the first place without redacting the faces. But notwithstanding what we believe, we don't have perfect information. And so when we hear from victims' rights groups about this type of photograph, we pull it down and investigate. We're still investigating that photo. The photo will go back up, and the only question is whether there will be redactions on the photo. And of course, if there are survivors in any of the photos, we will redact them as Congress expects us to do.
It's a pretty stunning kind of back and forth here that they would post this photo. There are concerns about women in the photo. He's not saying they're survivors. He doesn't actually know. And yet they posted it anyway without redactions. A lot to unpack. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Spread the word. Follow for more.
Are Republicans so interested in Bill and Hillary Clinton? It's because they're trying to distract from the fact that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files thousands and thousands of times. In those files, there's highly disturbing allegations of Donald Trump raping children, of Donald Trump threatening to kill children. So I encourage the press to go look at these allegations. And I'm highly disturbed that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche just got the law wrong. Yesterday, he said, essentially, that it is not a crime to party with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, that's actually not correct. If Jeffrey Epstein was human trafficking minors for these sex parties, and you show up and patronize the establishment at that party, yes, you're guilty, because patronizing is part of the law, the federal sex trafficking law. So Deputy General Todd Blanche just got that wrong, which maybe explains why they aren't investigating all these folks, including Donald Trump. He needs to read the law and investigate these people. He also needs to resign, not only for not knowing the law, but a massive, not only screw up, but the biggest privacy violation in history. They release a lot of pictures of minors unredacted, just violated the privacy of these girls. It is uncalled for what they did. The one thing that they could not do under this law was to invade the privacy of these women now, who were girls at the time, who were victims of sex trafficking. Also, he met with Ghislaine Maxwell, moved her to a minimum security prison, and then got a puppy for her. So for all those reasons, he's just got to leave the Department of Justice.
Now we have Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, now the Acting Attorney General of the United States of America. And let me tell y'all, Todd Blanche is somebody who knows better. Todd Blanche was raised up as a prosecutor in the Southern District of New York by good people. And he was regarded well there. You know, you may not be familiar with his background, but he was a paralegal in the office. He went to law school at night. That's not the usual profile for somebody who becomes a prosecutor in the Southern District of New York. But he was regarded so highly that he became a prosecutor after going through that unusual path. And now he has completely abandoned his moorings. And Katie, I'm sure you saw this too, right? Blanche says yesterday, and he caveats it as, I don't know why anybody would be upset about this. We're going to have ICE agents at the polls in November. What did you make of that?
Yeah, and I want to maybe set the table for people to understand this was in the context of an interview on News Nation. Okay, so if you had to add an adjective to the venue or the platform, it's a pretty friendly one, I would say, to this administration, it being News
Pretty
Nation.
friendly.
And the interviewer was this young woman who told him it's against the law to have them there. And he was like, well, but let me kind of talk about like why
who
it's
cares
not.
about the law?
And I was like, this man is the acting attorney general. He's literally they call him the top cop. I almost feel like that's a misnomer, right?
Any of the ball washers trying to make the reflection pool look like it's a miracle of modern science. I've been there, Benny. It looks like a toilet cake. It looks like the blue Tidy Bowl Man toilet cake in the middle of the National Mall. It's a disgrace. Hey, you know one thing about the Tidy Bowl Man? He was always by your side, unlike Butterscotch Schindler there. I was down there. I saw them pumping out toilet cake blue into our reflection pool where Martin Luther King made the I Had a Dream speech, and now it's, I have a dookie speech. Flushing the whole Washington down the toilet. It's a disgrace. If you want to see a group of people that are really doing DC justice, come to 7 Days in DC. We're literally having the new South by Southwest for activism right in DC. We're going to make the myths join us. We're going to clean up the reflection pool.
Literally building a fucking UFC match on the fucking White House lawn. What fucking timeline am I living in? This can't be real fucking life right now. I made a video about a year and a half, 2 years ago, talking about how the movie Idiocracy, you ever watched Idiocracy? If you haven't watched Idiocracy, go fucking watch Idiocracy. How the movie Idiocracy is literally playing out in real fucking life because the president, like this 5-time WWE champion, and they have this fucking like fight night that the president attends. It's called rehabilitation. The UFC match on the White House lawn is given rehabilitation vibes. Also, by the way, it's for this fucking old Nepo baby motherfucker's 80th birthday. Am I the only one absolutely appalled by the fact that while we are at war and service members are dying and we're spending $1 billion a day, meanwhile ICE is raiding people across the country and kidnapping them illegally out of their house, place of residence, courthouses, and people can't even afford health care, and food prices are shooting up and gas prices are shooting up and people can't even afford to live their daily fucking lives, and they're building a fucking UFC goddamn ring on the goddamn White House lawn while... Am I the only one? I'm calling somebody. I can't be the only one. This can't be real fucking life. I can't be the only fucking one.
Hey, what's going on,
Rig, I can't be the only one that's pissed off about this goddamn UFC match on the White House lawn for Dum Dum's 80th birthday.
It's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. It's bad enough that they fucking knocked down a portion of the White House. There's a reason why you never had a damn UFC fight at the White House. It's beneath the statue of the White House. Just like everything that Trump does is turns to shit. It's all about him. It's all about the self-grandizement. Everything has to revolve around him.
Matt, I can't be the only motherfucker. I don't understand the UFC match on the White House lawn, bro.
Oh, you mean our modern day recreation of Idiocracy?
You didn't just reference Idiocracy, because I just referenced Idiocracy, so I'm not the only one.
No, this is straight up President Camacho coming out in a monster truck, blaring his fucking speakers and shit. That's all this is.
Rehabilitation.
Yeah.
I just referenced rehabilitation.
Yeah. Listen. This whole thing to me screams, I don't have a small penis. You have a small penis.
I swear to God. And it's like the rich kid who just has to get everything he wants for his birthday. No, I want him to fight in my house on the lawn.
Yeah. Yeah, did you? I read a thing where they said that they might be like entering the fucking octagon through the Oval Office.
Oh my Jesus fucking
Yeah,
Christ!
they're gonna have them come out of the Oval Office and walk down to this fucking. Did you see the? It looks like they've got this whole scaffolding fucking thing that's all red, white, and blue. It looks like Uncle Sam splooged all over the South Lawn. It's gross, man. Hello?
Robbie, the fucking White House for this dum-dum's 80th birthday UFC match. I can't be the only one fucking pissed off.
I'm outraged right now. What a waste of money. If they're going to have something like that down there, then have a three-way death match with me, you, Luke Farmer, versus Stephen Miller and Chicken Dick, Pete Hegsmith, and JD Vance for the title.
Hell yeah, brother.
And my finisher, the Instagram reel. What you gonna do when I put you in the Instagram reel, though? Which is like a camel clutch.
I was gonna ask you what does the move look like?
It's like a dirty camel clutch, like the Iron Sheik. Only, I don't wash down there on my undercarriage, so he's gonna tap out within seconds. And that's what's gonna happen. That's what should happen at UFC 69. A three-way death match. Wolf Farmer, ho ho ho, Jolly Ginger, and Dirty Robbie Road Steamer up against Chicken Dick Pete Hegsmith and the rest of the not ready for primetime characters.
Remember when it was too hot and I had to walk barefoot?
How can I forget?
Oh, look, there it is. So, we're really going to do this?
Yeah. I don't know if I've still got it, mate. But let's do it for the lads.
Let's do it. After you.
You're not going to walk barefoot, are you?
No, not today.
It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen.
Good morning. Oh, wait, it's after freaking noon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. It is 1:11 p.m. here, Pacific time zone here in Las Vegas. It's currently 100 degrees. 100. We hit 100 already. Daytime high will be 104. Overnight low 85. Not much relief there. Wow. Out here on the outer rim of Las Vegas, otherwise known as Boulder Highway. Thanks guys for hanging in there and hanging out with me. I didn't get to bed till like 4:44. I mean, it was like ridiculous. The sun was almost coming up by the time I got home. It was 4:40 or whatever. I don't know. By the time I got to bed. So then I thought, well, okay, I'm not going to start at 9. I probably won't do 9. I thought I could do 11, and I thought, you know what, just make it a nooner. Let's just make it a nooner. And even then, now I was up, but I was making the intro and cutting it and editing and downloading and uploading and everything, and that took forever. But the good thing about it is that while all that was uploading and playing, I was able to cook myself a really nice little breakfast. So I hope you're happy to know I cooked myself a really nice cheese omelet cooked in bacon grease from the bacon that I cooked in the pan, which came out perfect. I so much prefer cooking my bacon in the pan as opposed to the microwave. I know earlier you guys were telling me in the microwave you can do this 3 minutes, it's fine, it's good. Nah. Cooking it in the pan is so much better. So much better. So while you guys were waiting and getting all pissed off at me, I had a nice breakfast. Anyhow, thanks for being here. I did see Jolie was first and WW was in there, wondering what the heck was going on. I see Mad Mac is here. Slava Ukrainian to Mad Mac. David Weiss from Denver. Hey, David Weiss. I don't know if David's still. I'm reading chats that you guys probably put in 2 hours ago, or longer. I don't even know. A couple hours probably. So, David Weiss, thanks for checking in. Brooklyn SJU. Trixie LaRue was or may still be here. I'm not sure. Again, these are from a while ago. Let me just scroll down. MJ Daniel from Washington State's here. Hey, MJ, good to see you. Aaron West is here, I believe. Now, hopefully, again, like I said, this is 2 hours ago or whatever. Hopefully, but I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that we are at full mod capacity. Full mod capacity. All right, enough of that silliness. But thanks for being here. I think I have some bacon in my teeth. I don't know. Big Hook, the Big Canuck is here. Hey, Big Hook, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Oh, thanks for coming on in. Big Hook says John would be late to his own funeral. I think that's a good thing, though. If you're going to be late to something, that might be the best thing to be late to. Jolie says, I guess if you're going to be late to an event, that's the one to be late to. I just said that, and I had not read that, and Jolie said basically the same thing I just said. So it's funny. Yep. DPD's here. Hey, DPD, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. I appreciate you. Big Hook, did he work way into the early morning? Yeah, you called it, Big Hook. You know, I mean, I worked. I only worked until about. I mean, by the time I got back to the taxi yard, it was like 2, I think, because I wanted to make sure, because at that time of night the bus only comes once an hour. That's what happened, because I wanted to try to get home to catch either the midnight, because there's a midnight bus, and then there's one that comes at 12:30, which is only a half an hour difference, right? But then from that point on, it's like once an hour, I think, until like 6 or 7 in the morning, or whatever it is. I guess 6:30 or whatever. And then it probably, then I think it might be a 7 o'clock one, whatever. But the point is, I missed it. I missed the 2 o'clock. I mean, I missed the midnight bus. I missed the 12:30 bus because I was, just driving, and then, and then you get a ride, and you're like, well, I guess I'll get this ride. I'll do this ride. So I missed that one, and then I got a couple more rides of people, and then I missed the 1:30 bus. And then I got back. I finished up that last ride and like 1:45 or whatever. Drove back to the yard. By the time you park and you do your paperwork and you turn in all your receipts and you turn everything in, it's like 2 left. No, it was after 2. I think it was after 2. And then I had to walk to the bus stop, which is not too far, but it's like a 12 minute walk to the bus stop. And then you wait for the bus, because I had to wait. And so by the time you get home, it's way late. So that's what happened. DPD, wow, TJ is late. Yeah, I know. Sorry about that, guys. Once I get a car, I think all this goes away, because it's a 20-minute ride home, and I could work even if I worked till 2, I'd be home by 2:30, which is not bad. There's a big difference between 2:30 and 4:30. You know what I mean? It really is. You guys not knowing Taylor Swift, she's probably sold more records than the Beatles at this point. Come on, guys. Josh Sees is here. Hey, good to see Josh Sees in the driver's lounge. Josh Sees has become a theater man. Apparently, he's been part of the theater. He's a theater man. Feet on the Dashboard was here. Feet on the Dashboard says the Trucker John is very sorry for being late. William's here. Hello, William. Good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. MJ Daniel says, what the fuck would we want Cuba other than a distraction? Epstein or a place to put their data centers to run their crypto scam? I'm going with distraction of Epstein and everything else. It's all about distractions, man. Look over here so we can rob you blind over there. Yeah, the GOP, they're all a bunch of fraudsters, MJ. Petrazi's here. Hey, Petrazi, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. I really do appreciate you coming on in. Appreciate you coming on in. Thank you very much. DPD says, MJ, that's Rubio's wet dream to take over Cuba so he can feign victory for his people to protect them from the regime, when truth be told, Rubio is the regime. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I guess Boston Brian's over because now it went to Vice Grip Garage. I had Boston Brian on the TV there. There I did. But now it went to Vice Grip Garage and Barn Find, a Chrysler Imperial parked 22 years. Will it run and drive 950 miles home? They always do. They always do, Derek. Derek is the guy who does the show. Derek, they always make it home. Maybe he should do an episode where it doesn't make it home because they always make the cars. He finds these cars that haven't been running for 30 years, and he gets them running, and they always make it home to his home. Anywho, all right. So MJ Daniels says, "Where are the unredacted Epstein files? What are they hiding? They're hiding a lot of gross crimes by the president. That's exactly what they're hiding, and they know if those ever get out, that he's cooked. He's done. If it all gets out, you know." I did add a goal today, like always. 5 super stickers goal. So far, we're at 0 for 5. But thanks for being here. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and hype. Hit the hype button. And we're on our way to 5,000 for 5K Hennessy Day. Now we went down. Last show I was over 490. Now we're at a few people left. I don't know why. I don't know what I did, but we're down to 4488 or something. But I did get a every month YouTube sends out to creators like myself a report on your channel or whatever. And so for the month of May that we just finished, May, we got 63 new subscribers. So that's better than 2 a day, right? Because I was saying I was only getting like 1 a day, but now it's actually 2 a day. What if we got 3 a day? 4 a day. Let's do this. Let's step it up. So we got 63 new subscribers last month. Let's beat that at least. Let's get 64 at least for the month for June. So let's keep on that hype button and liking and subscribing and sharing and all that good stuff. Help grow the show. Let's see what happens. Maybe something magical happens when you get to 5,000 subscribers. I don't know. Maybe when you get to 5,000, man, it's like it's a whole new level in the algorithm. Big Hook, Bannon is the worst. MJ says Bannon is the heat miser with leprosy. Yeah, he's like, man, you got this guy once in 100 years. That's not necessarily a good thing. We also had COVID, which was like once in 100 years. This pandemic, which hadn't been seen, the likes of which have not been seen since like the what was it, the Spanish flu or whatever in 2020, 2019. I mean, in 1919. So just because there's something that comes around that hasn't been around for 100 years, it's not necessarily a good thing. In fact, I would say that Trump is very analogous to a pandemic. He's like a walking, breathing pandemic. This motherfucker. He's creating worldwide strife right now. He's affecting the world in a negative way. Just by himself. He's like a walking fucking toxin. This motherfucker. DPD says Dave Yost, racist, fascist ass, turned over Ohio's voter rolls to the regime. Why every Ohioan can't sue, I will never know. Have they tried? Has anyone tried to sue? But when you've got Republican governments, whether it's a state government like Ohio, or whether it's the federal government like we have with Trump and the Trump administration, and Ted Blanche, wasn't Blanche a golden girl? But when, they will block probably anything you try. So that's why we need to vote in November. Vote like you've never voted before. Vote like your life depends on it, because I think it does. In November, let's all vote. Vote, 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 vote. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but I'm going to tell you who I'm voting for. And that's Democrats, all up and down that ballot. I voted in our primary. I just read a little part of an article about the turnout here in the great state of Nevada. We didn't even get 20% for our primary. It was 19.7% voter turnout. I think that's pretty pathetic, Nevada. Come on, Nevada. You can do better than that. 19.7%. We better sure show up in the fucking general election. It was better than that. Or you're going to see a second term of Governor Lombardo, who was a fucking maggot. And who knows? We might lose this, the House rep seats. So come on, Nevada. 19.7%. Are you kidding me? That's pathetic. You're pathetic. I can't even look at you right now, Nevada. I can't even look at you. You're so pathetic. Anywho. Big Hook. Speaking of Blanche. Wasn't Blanche one of the Golden Girls? Blanche is going to jail after his administration ends. He will lose his law license unless Trump pardons him, and he flees with Trump to a non-extradition country. It wouldn't be the first lawyer that's worked for Trump that has lost their law license. I think there's a whole trail of them. So keep that in mind, lawyers. If you're going to do Donald Trump's bidding, you might lose your fucking law license. Hi. You guys, you're still here? I can just wipe my nose without no one noticing. DPD liked the Jolly Ginger segment. Yeah, that was good. That was a good little skit that he did. I'm skipping down a little bit. Everyone seemed to like the little Beetle thing. I put that in there. I thought it would be a nice little break from the shit. I saw the Beetle thing, and I'll probably get copyright claim for the little tiny segment of what was it, Good Day Sunshine or whatever. But it's worth it. It's worth it. Mad Max says, I hope that Beatles thing was real. I think that was real. That looked real. I mean, AI is not so good that it's you can. It seems like you can usually tell. There's always, you know, six fingers and like one foot on backwards or something. There's always something with AI. You can always tell, I think. Uh, Big Hook says that was what I was arguing yesterday with Honorable Dan. With AI, it becomes hard to determine what is real and what is not. I disagree. I can spot it. I can spot it every single time. But Big Hook does go on to say, "Nice intro, TJ. Appreciate the compilation. You're welcome." DPD TJ, I hope you're able to enjoy. I don't go to the water park. Are you kidding me? You see all the kids within there? It's probably all full of piss. MJ Daniel, I do bacon in the oven. Boo. Boo. Fry it up in a pan, man. That's how men do it. Fry your bacon like a man in a pan. None of this oven bullshit. Nope. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the oven bacon anymore. I'm sticking to the pan, man. Or a skillet. DPD says, I like bacon in a skillet. To me, skillet, pan, same thing. Or oven, but the breakfast sounds delicious, TJ. MJ Daniel says, made it Southwest style. Chicken chili, use bacon, and season well with ground cumin. Cumin. I guess that's how you say it. Technically, it's brunch. To me, the first meal of the day is breakfast. Doesn't matter if it's 7 in the morning, 12 noon, 6 in the evening, midnight. If it's your first meal of after you waking up, that's breakfast. As far as I'm concerned. Anyhow, anyway. WW says going to be a thing like smart people can tell if it's artificial general intelligence. WW says if it's hard to tell, there were humans involved at every step. Yeah, that's true. That's probably true. WW Rubio is the next king of Cuba. WW belts and tires as long as you head on blocks. These cars that he finds, a lot of them are just sitting out in a field with plants and weeds and stuff growing up through the engine block. These weren't well cared for. I highly recommend Vice Grip Garage if you like to watch old cars that have been rusting out in out in the middle of a field and brought back to life. Now, and I believe that the guy who does this is sincere. I don't think he's doing trickery. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it might be easy to fake that, not even with AI, but just with, where the car isn't as bad as it is. It could be all staged, but I don't think it is. I think this guy, Derek, on Vice Grip Garage, I think he's sincere. I think he sincerely is working on these cars that have been sitting in a field for 30, 40 years, some of them, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. And he gets them running. And I mean, maybe I'm gullible, calling me gullible, but I don't think it's fake. Vice Grip Garage, ladies and gentlemen. How many times I gotta say it? Motherfucker's he's a millionaire now. This one video that I'm watching got 6.6 million views. It's from 2 years ago. He has, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I'm sure he's a millionaire now. But I still believe him as being sincere in his getting these cars going. And they're not just sitting on blocks, like drained and, and everything. No, they're out in a field with plants growing through them. TBD says, I'm not complaining, TJ. I am one lonely woman, and I love my daughter. And I love, and I love it. I am one lonely woman, and I love it. Okay. My daughter is at a sleepover. My hubby and son are gone. The only ones here is me Snickers, Mighty Mo, and Tom, my other children. I guess those are pets. But you're lonely, but you love it. That's interesting wording there. David Weiss from Denver says, I'm working on the situation for the Saturn, TJ. I have 4 all-season tires on my Civic that need to be inspected and date code checked. If they are a bit meh, I have 4 others almost new. Wow, David Weiss, you are going above and beyond, and I appreciate that so much. And thanks for the update on the Saturn. Hopefully, I guess it's a week from tomorrow. Is it? Let's see, to 12? Yeah. So a week from tomorrow is when my daughter and her husband are supposed to go and clean out my storage for me and haul it up here. And I told them we'll just stick everything in this living room. And it's a studio. It's just, so there's, the whole thing is the living room, I guess. But we'll just stick everything in here. But thank God hopefully by next Friday, I'll be done with that damn storage unit. So I'm looking forward to getting that. Plus that'll be, that's like Father's Day weekend or whatever. And so I'll get to see my daughter on Friday, and they said they'll stay over and the Saturday, and we'll hang out and do something. And hopefully my son will come up too. Big Hook says Bannon is a democracy death stalker. They don't care anything about democracy. They don't care about the Constitution. I was listening to, who was it that was saying, was it Political Punk? I think it was last night when I was driving. He was saying, here's what he was saying. He goes, guys, I really don't think that Donald Trump hates America. Guys, I don't. Dude, I don't. Dude. I don't think Donald Trump hates America. I don't, really. I don't. Dude. You know what I mean? I don't think they hate America. I was yelling at my fucking phone because I had the phone playing. I was sitting in a taxi line. I'm yelling at the phone like, they hate the Constitution. They hate fucking democracy. The only thing they love about America is how they can steal from it and rob it. They love the riches of America. They love the money of America. So they can get their grubby little hands on it and steal as much of it as they can. That's all they are, is just money grubbing little fucking whores. So they don't really love America. They love America's money. You know what I mean? Dude. Whenever he says dude, I don't know if you guys ever watch him, but whenever he says dude, I always think of that sound clip from Stephanie Miller Show. It was like, and it's from, is it from Ferris Bueller's Day Off? I don't know. It's from some movie where the lady goes, "You're a righteous dude." Every time he goes, "Dude," I'm like, because he sounds like that lady. You're a righteous dude. Anyhow, Donald Trump and Steve Bannon and those motherfuckers, they don't love America. They love America's money so they can steal and rob as much of it as they can. And that's one of the things, we see that Steve Bannon, he was robbing from his own MAGA supporters. And that's what he got busted for and he got sent to prison for, and Trump fucking pardoned his ass. They don't love America. They love the money that the richest country in the world has. The richest nation in the history of the world. All they see that as one big giant slush fund for them to take from. Dude, no, I mean it, dude. Is Paul Burrows here? Let's see. I guess Paul Burrows jumped in. Oh, there he is. Hey, Paul Burrows, good to see you. Paul Burrows, this is for all the lonely people. Oh, doing a little Beatles here. Or no, wait. Oh, no, this is America. Speaking of America, loving America, right? This is for all the lonely people who think the world has passed them by. Don't give them till you drink from the silver cup and ride the highway of the sky. Oh, that's America. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking of... Well, because the Beatles had, look at all the lonely people. Where do they all belong? Where do they all come from? Right? Look at all the lonely people. And then America has their song about lonely people. Yeah. This is for all the lonely people who think the world has passed them by. Don't give up until you drink from that silver cup and ride that highway in the sky. Everybody now. All right. Dude. Yeah, so that was the America song. I wonder if you could do a mashup. You could probably do a mashup between the Beatles song and the America song. Anyhow, Paul, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. I do hope you're feeling better on the road to recovery. Vasantha Elf is here. Hey, Vasantha, good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. Thanks for popping on in. Thanks for popping on in. Mad Mac, we would rather you wipe or blow your nose than to keep sniffing. Get back up there, TJ. Yeah, I know the sniffing, that can be annoying. It's very annoying. Mr. Spock, the Fowler's here. I still haven't bought my fake eyebrows, but how's the fouling going, Mr. Spock? Oh, live long and prosper. May you and your fowl live long and prosper. Well, not all of your fowl live long, do they? But they have a purpose. WW, my vocal therapist told me that it was much healthier to swallow rather than cough or hack. So now we know the WW swallows. Okay, all right. Good to know. Big Hook says, Big Hook says, knowing this Supreme Court, they will allow Trump to pardon himself. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that either. Mad Max says, I was here at 11 a.m. and came back, but only got here during Jolly's vid, so I missed the stuff earlier. I'll watch it at the end of today. Yes, and I will repost, as I normally do, sometime after the show. I will repost just that intro section if anyone cares to check it out. And if you do, make sure you like it and hype it. Hype that motherfucker. Mr. Spock, a barley sandwich for breakfast. Is that like is that a euphemism for having a beer or something? I don't know. Aaron West, I drink Gatorade Zero all day. All the live long day. Gatorade Zero. WW says yes, it would be relatively easy to stage, but how much the cost? How big? He's got 6.6 million people that have watched this fucking video. He's huge now. He started off though, just a guy who was a mechanic, and he loved to work on cars. He started out with zero, but within relatively short period of time, I think 2 or 3 years, his channel blew up. Vice Grip Garage. I just discovered it a couple months ago. By the way, because I started maybe a few months ago, but I've been watching all these car videos lately, and all these because I've been looking for a car, and so even though you don't buy cars on YouTube, well, sometimes I guess there are some people that sell their cars, but I mean I've just been looking at all these like how to fix up cars, how to get old cars, and how to inspect them, and if you're looking at a used car, that's where it started, and then I started getting all these other video channels on my feed, like Vice Grip Garage, which is it's just him, finding old cars and getting them running. But I love it. I love those shows. Mr. Spock, sell the junk. One man's junk, another treasure. If you're talking about my stuff from the storage shed, the storage unit, it's not a shed, it's a unit. Let's be clear. It's a unit, not a shed. Because it's not standalone. If it was a standalone thing, I could say, okay, we call it a shed. But it's in a building. It's an indoor one. It's an indoor unit, air conditioned, the whole thing, right? So all my shit is not in the blazing heat for all these years. It's just been in there for years and years and years. But yeah, I want to get it all in here. And then I'm going to go through it kind of box by box. And I'll decide either stuff I'm going to keep or stuff I'm going to maybe take to Goodwill or stuff I'm going to just walk out to the dumpster out here. And then there might be some stuff that I think maybe I could sell it on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, or I don't know. Yeah, you never know. Like you say, one man's junk is another man's treasure. WW, I don't know all these people. Political punk? Probably because by the time your show comes on, you've already ingested so many edibles or vaping or whatever it is you do, and knocked down a half a bottle of Hennessy or whatever, and you're probably passed out. Because it usually comes on in the evening here in Pacific time zone, usually like 9:30, 10. So by midnight for you, or in 1, and yeah, like I said, you're probably passed out. not like going to sleep, but just passed out from all the things you ingest. That's probably why you don't see him. But he does post a lot of shorts during the day, little videos and stuff that you could check out that are from the show. Brooklyn says, I'm glad it's going to work out with your daughter. Yeah, it's going to be great. Daughter and son-in-law, and I hope my son comes along too. WW Socket Wrench Sam. I don't think I've seen that one, but I've seen another show that's kind of like. I don't know if you're making a joke, but I think there is a show that it is kind of like that with that title. YouTube channel, I think. Paul Burrell says, I got to go. My oxygen's low. I have to get it above 93. Peace out. You take care, Paul. You take care of yourself, man. Get that oxygen level up. Oh, yeah, Jolie. See, Jolie says kind of the same thing I said. She said, political punk comes on way after your bedtime. Yeah. Because I think he's passed out on all the edibles and the Hennessy. I think he's a Hennessy drinker. I'm just kidding, because I want to. That gives me an excuse to say, "Hey, 5K Hennessy Day." You'll see me pass out, maybe. DPD, I still try and give Political Punk a thumbs up, even though he banned me. Oh wow, he banned you? That pussy. What a fucking pussy. He complains so much about people like blocking him all the time, and then he bans you. What a fucking little pussy. I listen to him all the time, but he's starting to irritate me too. He kind of irritates me. He does. Dude, he does. Dude, he irritates me. I mean it. You know what I mean? Dude. And then when he says stupid shit like, Trump and Bannon or whatever, the right wingers, that they love America. They don't love America. They love America's money. Terrence M. Bonds. Hey, Terrence, good to see you. Says, dude, I worked with a millennial Eddie Haskell, whose favorite word was dude. Is Eddie Haskell from, like, Leave It to Beaver or something? That Eddie Haskell? Eleanor Rigby, yeah. So Eleanor Rigby is the one that's got the All the Lonely People lyrics. And then America has their song. What's the title of that one? It's like, oh, people. Is it? I don't know. It seems like the titles don't match the lyrics, but James Jaramillo, Political Punk isn't bad. He just comes on too damn late. Look, I agree with probably 90% of the shit he says, or 95% of the stuff. We're politically aligned. We're right. We're not right. We're left wing. We're left wingers. I agree with probably 95% of the stuff that he says. Just to be honest, and just to, I'm sort of, I don't know. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but that thing that he said last night just kind of irritated me about Trump loves America. The only thing Trump loves is himself. And the reason he loves money because money goes to himself. WW says, I taught some of those kids, I wouldn't let them call me dude. Hey, dude. Dude. Big Lebowski, dude. The dude. Mr. Spock says, I guess I don't have COVID. Well, that's good. WW says, had a roadie, kept calling me. What were you touring Are you trying to tell us that you're like some touring artist? You had a roadie? All right, W. W says, I had a roadie, he kept calling me dude. I asked him not to call me that, refused to work with him after he started up again. Wow. That's pretty anal. WW Vice Grip Garage will turn to clamp plier shed. W, I can't drink Hennessy. It contains sulfites. All right, well, whatever it is, you're knocked out by the time Political Punk comes on. Big Hook says older cars had the simpler technologies and none of the computer emission controls. If it's a popular car from yesteryear, they probably still stock parts for. Oh yeah, he gets parts all the time. WW at a normal time of night. When I was young, I went to bed at 9. I couldn't wait to be old enough to go to bed when I wanted. Turns out to be 9. That's so funny. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard you say, WW. Terrence Butts. No, dude. WW, they're not all real parts. Many are aftermarket and don't always fit right. That's true. Big 154 TJ time reference. I'm catching up to you guys. I'm only 3 minutes behind. I'm only 3 little tiny little baby little itty bitty tiny teensy eensy weensy little teensy whitey leetsy beatsy wootsy eensy little minutes behind you. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. DBD says, TJ, I was being sarcastic about being lonely. And yes, they are my fur babies. Sometimes when you have other people running in and out of your house all the time, you need some alone time. Yeah, I agree. But just get rid of the cats and you'll really have some alone time. Or I'm assuming they're cats. I don't know. It could be. I'm just kidding. That was me kidding about getting rid of them. WW, I got a rear light screw off plug in, easy, but doesn't exactly fit if you look at it close. Brooklyn political skunk. Look, his name is Tommy, I guess. He's a good guy. Like I said, I probably agree with him 95% of the time. But he does get a little irritating, you know. Jolie says, I love Tommy in small doses. I've cut back my political punk to once a week. Don't stay up as late now, usually. I find that when Tommy starts, I get kind of sick of him, then I go over to Riverboat Jack. Riverboat Jack is another one. I think she's very, very good. Very, very good. I like Riverboat Jack. Probably, I think even better than Tommy. So I kind of go back and forth. You know? WW, bad habits, like somebody who says fuck all the time. Well, who the fuck does that? DVD says, TJ, I'm glad you were able to keep your belongings, and I'm ecstatic to get you can spend time with your babies. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Mr. Fox says, son shows me a picture of a permanent marker clone for $80 at a dispensary. It was rather huge, like a mother plant. You've completely lost me. I have no idea what any of that means. Some sort of pot talk. You know, I don't really engage too much in pot talk here on Trucker John channel. I don't understand it, and I don't care about it. So, but good for you, Mr. Spock, with your permanent marker clone. I thought you were talking about like a Sharpie or something for a minute there. So I have no idea what that means, nor do I care. Danny Pomeroy says the only thing Trump loves is money. That's what I just said. And the hustle and the big con playing out right now, and he has weaponized the American government. Even the Supreme Court is now dictating law, which is not their duty. USA. USA all the way. Donald Trump has just completely fucked everything up. He's fucked this whole fucking country up. He is just a bull in the china shop. He's a walking pandemic. But you know about people say he has like the opposite of the Midas touch or whatever. And like instead of everything he touches turns to gold, it turns to shit. I think that's true for all of us, but I think for him, he's been doing pretty well for himself. Just since he took office, I think he's enriched himself by billions of dollars. If that's, a definition of success, I think for him it is. I think that's how he sees success, is by how many billions of dollars you can rake in. WW, I watch Dean Withers sometimes, or at least listen. Yeah, I'll catch some Dean Withers. All those young, there's this whole cadre of these young dudes that are really smart, like Dean Withers. Was it Jack Coachella Valley, whatever his name is? Of course, Mockler. What's the other kid? I haven't seen him in a while. But the other one, why am I forgetting their names? But yeah, there is this whole 4 or 5 or 6 of them that I've been seeing, all in their early to mid 20s, and smart as fuck. And it kind of gives you a little bit of hope for the future. We've got these right young guys coming up, and maybe that will, maybe that's indicative of the younger generations coming up, and maybe they're not so bad after all. Every generation, I think, thinks that the generations that came before them are dumb and stupid, and they think the generations that come after them are dumb and stupid. They think the generations think about that. They think the generations behind them are just dumb and stupid. They're antiquated. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just stuck in the past. The generations coming after them, they're young and naive, and they have no idea of how things really work and how things really are, and they have a lot to learn. And all that is kind of true, but it's kind of funny because no matter what generation you're in, you are either the previous generation to them or you're the younger generation to them. And they think the same thing about you either being old and dumb or antiquated, out of touch, not knowing all the new stuff, or they think that, you don't know what you're talking about because you never had it so bad. You don't know the hardships that we went through to get you to where you are today. All that stuff is true, but it's just kind of funny. Terrence Bunce says, Jolie, good afternoon. My musical ear syndrome kicked in. I see. Mata Hoople. All the young dudes, mid-1980s. I need a skateboard and an empty pool. All the young dudes carry the news. Hey, that would be a good theme song for all the young dudes. Yeah, that's a good song. WW, I get turned off when folks keep talking about violence. Who's talking about violence? James Harmeo, Riverboat Jack is good. She's hot as hell too. Yeah, she's pretty hot. Brooklyn SJU, aka Trixie LaRue, says, TJ, you are my one and only podcast. Thank you. You're going to make me blush. Well, thank you, Brooklyn. I appreciate you. Always appreciate you being here. Big Hook is considering vice grips are a measure of last resort. When the bolt is completely shredded, it seems like an ominous title for cars. That's the whole idea. The guy is funny. The guy he's it's all about self-deprecating humor. It's all about the whole thing. That's the title is exactly about that. And just for the record, he very rarely actually has ever used a vice grip on any of the videos I've seen. But it's self-deprecating. It's supposed to be, kind of ironic or whatever, or sarcastic or whatever. Jolie says, I used to watch Riverboat Jack all the time a while back, but never saw anyone I knew there, so no one in chat talked to me. See, the thing is, when I watch Riverboat Jack and Political Punk, I'm usually just lurking. I very rarely go in there. Sometimes I'll pop in and leave a comment on both those shows. But I'm either at work and I'm just listening while I'm driving. So I don't usually, if I'm in a taxi lane, I could make a comment. But I usually don't. But the point is, I usually don't make too many comments. And if I'm watching at home, I'm usually on the couch watching it on TV, and then I'm on my phone, playing one of my games that I play. So I can't really comment when it's that way. So just so you know, I'm probably in there lurking. Whenever the Riverboat Jack or Political Punk are on, I'm usually lurking. Big Hook says, WW says, laughing out, the man has his own staff. They find the parts that he needs. Well, if you watch the show like I have, you know that he has no staff until recently. I mean, he was a one man crew, and probably until maybe a few years ago. Then he started getting. Then he got a show. He actually got a show on one of the channels. A couple shows. So he got so big that he actually got on some TV shows, and then that's when he started getting a cameraman to help him, and maybe some editing to help him. But it's not like he has this big staff and he's just like laying there and he's like, bring me the drink. You get me a sandwich. More grapes. He's not doing that. And he'll even say like that he ordered some parts. He's very out front about it. Like he's like, yeah, I've got this commercial account with O'Reilly, and I called them up. I needed a part, and they sent it to me. He's very upfront about that. So just so you know, here I am defending Derek Beery, probably a right-wing maggot from South Dakota or one of the Dakotas, who now lives in Tennessee. So he's red as can be, probably, in terms of red versus blue. But I like the guy, okay? And he's very smart. He keeps everything non-political, so I'm just assuming that he's probably MAGA. If not MAGA, he's certainly, if he even bothers to vote, he's probably a Republican. Okay? And here I am. I'm saying that with nothing to back it up. I don't have facts to back any of that up that I just said, as far as his political thing. But he's very smart. He kept it all about cars, restoring old classic vehicles, getting cars back on the road. That's his whole shtick. And I don't think he just sits around and has a bunch of staff where they just pamper him or whatever. Mr. Spock Parker gets a job. Parker is Parker. He's one of the other young guns. Brooklyn says things are on the upswing for you now, TJ. I think getting this storage unit fiasco is a huge thing. It's a huge thing because I'm not getting the income I had as a truck driver. I blew so much money. I mean, I would have, it seems like money wasn't really an issue, even though I didn't save any like a dumbass. But I did all kinds of shit with the money, and having a $200 storage unit fee was no big deal. But now that I'm on a fixed income and I'm working part-time and all that kind of stuff, it's become a really big fucking deal. So closing that thing out, I think, I think it's going to make a big, big difference in my life, Brooklyn, SJU. It's going to make a big fucking difference. So, Brooklyn, Harry Sisson. Yeah, Harry Sisson is another one that I didn't think about. But yeah, there's Harry Sisson. But the one that I couldn't come up with a name, you guys haven't said him yet. And I know you've all watched him. And he was probably one of the even earlier ones. Big up, my cars are 20 years old, but low mileage. Toyotas from Japan, which means reliable and easy to service. Yeah, those Japanese cars, Toyotas are amazing. The miles you can get out of those cars are amazing. Danny Pomeroy invests $500 in SpaceX, and the commercial says you will get, is that 500,000 or 5 million? Without the commas in there, it's hard to say. I think that's 500,000 in return. Laughing my ass off. Yeah, that's a Ponzi scheme. It's an Elon Musk Ponzi scheme and scam. The only people that are going to make any money is him and a few of his top of the pyramid investors. It's a pyramid scheme. WW online chatters talk about fighting in the streets. Well, sometimes that comes up, I guess. Brooklyn says my Toyota Solara is 85,400 miles from 2008. It's barely even broke in, Brooklyn. That baby's barely even broke in at 84,000. Now, most of your American cars, it's about almost done at 84,000, 85,000. But that Toyota is probably barely even broke in. Hey, Danny Berry Sports Highlights is here. Hello. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday right back at you. Good to see Danny Berry. Thanks for coming on in. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, hype, all that good stuff. We only have 20 watching, but we do have 27 thumbs ups. Thumb ups? Thumbs ups. So that's good. We are acting like good Democrats. We got a good surplus there going. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate you. Big talking about kilometers and shit. We don't do kilometers on the Trucker John channel. I'm sorry. I don't do kilometers, man. You're gonna make you have to get a conversion table out. Brooklyn, issue $1.49 super sticker. Thank you so much, Brooklyn. Yippee! I'm just not coming to it. Thank you so much, Trixie LaRue, for that $1.49 super sticker. I appreciate you. Aaron is back. I'm back in the saddle again. I'm back. No wonder Steven Tyler blew his tonsils out or vocal cords out. I guess they're not the same. I guess tonsils and vocal cords aren't the same thing. But no wonder he blew them out. Because could you imagine singing night after night after night, going on tour and singing over and over again, like having like scream out, "I'm back!" See, I can't even do it. I can't even do it once. He's like, "I'm back in the saddle again." You got to scream that out, like every night, or almost every night, for years and years on end. It's no wonder Steven Tyler can't sing anymore. I did that once, and now I got to drink of water. DPD says, I worry about the first generations. I understand they know how things are right now, but this generation faces an existential crisis between jobs, buying a home, and money woes. They are the tragic gen. You know what? I don't look at it so dim and gloomy. I think it seems like people find a way. People find a way. It's like Jurassic Park, like, what is it, like nature finds a way or whatever? I know it seems, and that's not to say that there's not going to be lots of turmoil and lots of people that are going to get hurt and all that, but at the end of the day, people are going to find a way, I think, to survive, not to just survive, but I mean, one thing about America is we want to do more than just survive. I think the younger generations, that they will find their way. Jolie says, I probably won't be here Saturday. Headed to Minnesota, roller derby weekend. Oh, Minnesota. I've been to Minnesota. I mean, not just as a trucker, but as a kid. My dad was from Minnesota, and so at one point, the entire family on my dad's side were all in Minnesota. Now they're all in California. But so yeah, Minnesota is always near and dear to my heart. DBD, Gin Eagles Generation. Where did I screw that up somewhere? Oh, Tragic Gin. The Tragic Generation. Yeah, I think I caught that. Brooklyn says, "Don't let facts stop you. It's just you friends. It's just your friends." Yeah, yeah. Don't let facts get in the way. I'm not going to let facts get in the way of saying whatever did I say. Danny Pomeroy says Trump just announced the Iran war is over, and the stock market is up 1,000 points. Laughing my ass off. Next Monday they will be dropping bombs again, and he will say it's Iran's fault. Iran's fault. Same shit, different week. Yeah, how many times? I think he said the war is over a few times. He is definitely the boy who cried wolf. So that no matter what he says, you really can't really believe him. We do too, John. I'm not sure what that was about because I don't even know. We do too what? You have to refresh me on what you do too. Big Hook, I have 3 cars, so as to have triple redundancy, always to make sure you have one operational vehicle. It's good to have a backup. DPD, are you talking about Piker? No, I'm not talking about Hassan. I watch Hassan Piker. No, he's not one of the young guns I'm talking about. He's probably, he's still relatively young, but he's not in that group I'm talking about. No, you guys know who I'm talking about. The guy, he's kind of curly hair, white kid, very pasty. I haven't seen him lately. Maybe that's why I can't remember his name, but you all know who he is, and you all have watched him. And I can't remember his name. WW, I like Hassan sometimes, but he does come off as if anything Jewish is pro-Zionist. I don't know. I think he tries to make it clear that that's not the case. You just don't want to listen. Bad Matt, my Tacoma is the backup to my Harley, laughing out loud. WW, it is bad. Hard on your voice, not every night, 2 or 3 nights a week in my younger days. When you had a roadie, back when you had a roadie, when you were touring, were you touring? Were you on the dinner club show circuit? I'm just messing with you, W. Messing with you. WW says he kicks people off, or his mods do for arguing with him. Brooklyn says I watched Bruce Springsteen movie on Hulu. It was pretty good. Is that new? Is that a new thing? Oh, you're talking about the one the biopic. Yeah. I thought maybe it was something like this new came out, like a kind of a documentary because he's doing he's touring now, about ice and all that shit. But yeah, the movie, the biopic, I liked it. It got panned by a lot of movie reviewers. But I really liked it. Brooklyn, SJU. I liked it too. With the kid from Shameless. WW, I don't live that far from Minnesota. You don't. I know you don't. DPD says, has anyone heard the orange pedophile has instructed the post office to block mail ballots from states if they refuse to turn over their voting rolls? I have heard that. And I was thinking about that last night because someone mentioned it. It might have been Tommy, political punk. Dude! Or someone, I don't know, some show, because I watch all the shows just like you guys do. Someone brought that up yesterday, and I was thinking about that. If they try to block ballots from states that refuse to turn over the voter rolls, and if you could actually get away with that, I mean, you can't count anything out, I guess, but I mean, I don't know how he could get away with that because all the states that don't do that are going to be blue states, but they're going to raise holy hell to get those ballots in and counted. I mean, it would make national news. I would think that you talk about, going out in the streets and all that kind of stuff. That would be something that would get people in the streets, I would think. I think it's a bluff. I think it's a big bluff and a scare tactic and just another way for Trump to sow discord. Is that it? Sow, when you sow something? Just discord into his followers mainly about how crooked the Democrats are and how they're cheating in elections. It's just another part of his narrative. But I don't think they could. I don't think they could actually block ballots from states. I don't know how that works because they're going to have the elections in those states. They're going to have the results, and they're going to turn those results in to Congress, and they're going to get their votes all certified. They're still going to get certified. So I think it's a bunch of bullshit, actually. Jolie says we're going to the Mall of America Sunday. I'm excited. I've only seen videos. I think the Mall of America was all made because the last time I was there, other than as a truck driver, just sort of driving through some parts of the state, but as a kid, when I went there with my family, I think was 1972 or 3. And Mall of America, I don't think was around yet. Maybe, I don't think so. I think that didn't come around until like the 80s, right, or something. So I didn't go. I've never been there, but I've seen videos of it and stuff, and it looks really cool. Luke Beasley, Mad Mac, yes. Luke Beasley, yes. See, I know you guys all knew him. Yeah, not Hassan Piker. He's not even. He's old compared to those guys. He's like in his mid-30s or whatever, probably. He might be 40 by now. I don't even know. I'm talking about, Luke Beasley and Adam Mockler, Dean Withers, which is such a funny name to me. It reminds me of Smithers from whatchamacallit, The Simpsons. But anyhow, yeah. Beasley. Curly hair, pasty skin. That's him. See, as soon as I said that, you guys knew exactly who I was talking about. Right? Big Hook says, considering the price of gas will jump super high soon as the strategic national reserves run dry. I know, and I'm getting a car. I'm wanting to get a car, and then there's not going to be any gas to put in it. But talk about backups. If I do get a car, whether it's through David Weiss, or whether it's through finding something I could buy here cheaply, wherever. However, I get a car. I was still thinking about maybe eventually, not right away, but saving up and still getting an e-bike. I think that would be a good backup to a car. You know what I mean? I do. Guys do. I really do. I think that would be a great backup. WW, we had a guy who set up the band and ran sound. Okay. All right. Big Hook, it's either a deal in the next 2 days or 2 weeks. We're talking about the National Reserve run dry. Yeah, Jeremy Allen White. There you go. Played Bruce in that movie that came out earlier. That was this year, right? Yeah. I liked the movie. It got panned. And yeah, sure, there were some things that I probably, if I was the director or whatever, writer, director, producer extraordinaire that I am. I would have done some things a little bit differently, I think, but not too much. I liked it. I really liked it, man. Mad Max says, I heard that about the voter rolls yesterday. That is illegal and it pisses me off. And I don't mean to be like, oh, don't worry about it. You know, I think we should worry about it. I think we should be aware of it. I think we should be thinking of ways to combat this thing about this threat of not counting these ballots from states that don't hand over their voter rolls, which will be all the blue states, right? I'm not saying just to ignore it, and you know, we can't ignore this shit. We have to keep it on our radar. We have to think about it. We have to think of solutions, and that I'm hoping that people much brighter than I, and hopefully that are in positions of power, you know, like our elected representatives, and maybe our governors, like Gavin Newsom, for instance, are on this and are already thinking of ways to, you know, to not let that be an issue. I just noticed this handle on my chair is kind of cracking, like it's weird. The upholstery or whatever. Anyhow, Big Hook says, dude disappeared after I think his ex threatened to stop allowing him child shared custody because of the threats from MAGA callers. Wow, is that what happened? I know he disappeared, and yeah, I used to watch him all the time too. Yeah, and all of a sudden just gone. WW, apparently I don't watch all the shows. How many teenage stoner liberal debaters could there be? Well, they're not teenagers. They're in their 20s. Okay, let's get that straight. And they don't really seem to be stoners to me. That doesn't mean that they don't smoke pot. They don't imbibe from time to time or whatever, but they don't come off as being stoners to me, okay? Mad Mac, all caps, they cannot win on merit alone. So they cheat their asses off. Yep, that's right. That is the Republican Party. They cheat and they lie. And they create issues that don't really exist. Like the war on Christmas. Or even the trans issues, where I think most people are all in favor of trans people doing their thing, living their lives. But then the Republican Party, they, with the help of the white nationalists and the evangelicals, make it a big issue, this big like moral thing and everything, and they create this issue that didn't exist, and it becomes this culture war thing, and it's that's how they get support, is through their culture war bullshit. Yeah, Jolie says there's rides, including a roller coaster, aquarium, climbing walls, comedy theaters, so many other attractions. Yep, that's the Mall of America. It used to be, I don't think it is anymore. I think someone broke the record, but that for a while there, they were like the largest mall, maybe in the world. And probably the fucking Saudis, you know, made a bigger one or something. Fuck the Saudis. I hate the Saudis. WW, by the Constitution, states choose their national candidates by whatever Democratic means they wish. Could be a caucus. I don't like caucusing. I like primary elections. Big Hook says yes, because it's artificially compensated because the reserves are stocked with the oil needed to be mixed with Canadian crude. to extract everything from it and keep clogging the refinery lines. Thanks for that rundown on how the oil works. WW, we really vote for the Electoral College? Yeah. And those votes from the blue states that don't give Trump the voter rolls, they will have their elections and they will turn their results into the Electoral College. They'll be certified. So I think it's bullshit. A scare tactic. I think it's a scare tactic. And I don't know, I guess he's trying to scare the states into handing over the voter rolls, but that shouldn't stop us from voting. That shouldn't scare us from voting. The thing that should scare, that I could see scaring us from voting, is when Stephen Miller says that they're going to send, like ICE agents to the polls and shit like that. That's more scary than this. Hey, he got the car running. He got the old Chrysler Imperial. Yeah, he's scooting down the road now. Heading back to Tennessee. Mad Max says the curly hair gave it away about Luke. He's been acting goofy on the show lately, laughing out loud. Kids these days. I like Adam and Parker and Luke. Good lads. Good lads. Good lads all. Yeah, I like them too. They're good. They're good kids. I call them kids. They're in their 20s. College educated. Probably a billion times smarter than I am. And I'm pretty goddamn smart. I crack myself up. But yeah, they're good. DPD says, TJ, did you or anyone else believe the orange pedophile would fuck up our White House? They do what they want and ask for permission later, and they always tell us what they are going to do before they do it. I gotta say that I did not, when Donald Trump became president in 2024, won the election in November of 2024, tearing down the East Wing of the White House, I did not see that. I did not. I really didn't think that was not. I didn't think that was on anyone's radar. I didn't think that was. I mean, why? Why? I mean, why would you even? Why would even? I mean, yeah. I thought he's going to. I'm thinking like, oh, okay, there's going to be a ramping up of deportations, and there's going to be lots of racism and blocking groups, marginalized groups from doing things, and there's going to be things of this nature. There's going to be lots of talks about the wall again or shit like that. I did not see the tearing down of the East Wing. That didn't. I'm like, why would you? That's so random, right? So he just does shit that is so weird and so random. And such a waste of money. That's the irritating thing, is he'll come out and say, we just don't have the money for Medicare. We don't have the money for health care. We don't have the money for SNAP. We just can't do it. We can't afford it. Oh, by the way, I'm going to give all the billionaires tax breaks so you don't have to pay any taxes. And I'm going to go to a war with Iran and spend $1 billion a day. And I'm going to tear down the East Wing. And I'm going to say that it'll be paid with private money. But, of course, that's bullshit. And it'll all be paid by the taxpayers. It's just one thing after another. Bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. Money after money after money. Money for bullshit things. And we could be putting that money towards social safety net, towards infrastructure. That's the infuriating thing. And like I said on the last show, if Kamala Harris had won, then our biggest issue right now would be how soon can we get Medicare for All enacted? That would be our biggest gripe, is it's not happening fast enough. We're not getting Medicare for All fast enough. to have that kind of, trouble or issue. Mad Max says, just never forget Epstein. All this bullshit is to direct from what will take him down instantly once it comes out. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that is true. As far as like, where does it come from? Where does the East Wing thing come from? Where does all this shit come from? And thanks for bringing us back, Mad Mac. Thanks for bringing me back to reality. That is what it is. It is what it is. It's all distraction. You're absolutely 100% correct. It's all distraction, because if the Epstein files ever gets out unredacted and we see all the fucking vile shit that this motherfucker did, he will be locked up for the rest of his fucking life, which who knows how long that is. Mr. Spock, it's unconstitutional to throw out votes. WW, Dean smokes constantly. Dean Withers? I thought you didn't watch them. How do you know? Brooklyn says, I remember a very young man, Noah. He was at the DNC debating with the pillow guy. Noah. I think I remember that. Mr. Spock, West Edmonton Mall is bigger. Yeah, like I said, when the Mall of America was made, it was like the biggest mall in the world. But that others have since passed that. And I would rather it be West Edmonton than some Saudi motherfuckers. I hate the Saudis. Bad Matt, Christian National is just another name for Nazis. DPD says, fun fact. The writer for the article on Plattner in the New York Times name is Katie Gluck. She went to Northwestern University, and she was the co-president for the Students of Israel Watch, received AIPAC money. To be clear. No, I know I always forget what TBC means. Taking care of business. No, that's not it either. Take back coconuts. No, that's not it. I always forget what TBC means. DBD Katie won Student of the Year twice. But she gets AIPAC money. I don't like that part of it. WW, everybody collecting AIPAC money is not a Zionist. Jolie says it's the biggest mall in the U.S. Okay, good. That's good. Still holds the title for the U.S. biggest mall. That's good. DPD says we can no longer watch what the Nazis do. We need to listen to what they say. And they always say the quiet part out loud, always. Mr. Spock says largest mall is Iran Mall, Toronto, 1.995 million miles, milliliters, meters. I don't know. You Canadian metric system. Brooklyn, a fight's going to break out over the malls. No, it's not. DPD says, when the orange pedophile won, I could not get out of bed for 4 days. I cried until I thought I had no more tears left. I went dark because I knew what the fuck we were going to face with Project 2025. I know it was a dark day again, just like 2016. In 2016, that's kind of what I did. But I was out in the truck, so I had to drive. But I remember being so depressed. I remember crying in 2016 when he beat Hillary. I cried. I was depressed. I was suicidal, actually, for one of the only times in my life. And then I had to get out of that and just, you know, get out of turn that depression into just doing whatever I could to fight against this motherfucker. And then when it happened again in 2024, it was a little different because now it's like, oh fuck, not again, you know, and we did it again. And it just, instead of getting depressed, I'm just like angry, you know. DPD, don't get me started on Project 2026 and 2027. We need to stop these motherfuckers. That's for sure. We need to stop them with all this bullshit, this right-wing, stupid-ass bullshit, taking away, stripping away such hard-fought, you know, rights, civil rights and equal rights and labor rights. Things have been just hard-fought. People have lost their lives fighting for these issues. And now Trump is just flipping them away, you know. It's so infuriating. It really is. To be continued. Yeah, I was able to figure out generation. And I know you've explained TBC before, but I forgot. To be continued. Okay. I like some of mine better, I think. Mr. Spock says paper money is the worst to lose. Especially maybe that's how they talk up there in Canada. You don't want to lose your money. Keep a firm grip on your money, eh? You don't want to lose it. Especially the $250 Trump note. Yeah, that Trump note. I don't have it, do I? Yeah, I don't have it in here. By the way, let's get to 5K. Three minutes, 46 seconds to go on the goal. But don't lose your money. WW says the stuff from executive orders can be immediately undone. That is why Trump fears the auto pen, one stroke, and all of Trump's evil deeds go up in smoke. Mr. Spock says a good, I think he meant shroom trip gets you out of the funk. I don't know about self-medicating like that for something like that. It only temporarily maybe solves the problem, but when you sober up, the problem is still there. I guess unless you just never want to sober up, you're just always eating shrooms or smoking weed or getting drunk. Yeah, I guess that's some people do that. I don't know. It's not really for me. DPD says I'm an empath, so I tend to feel things on a deeper level. Yeah, see, if you're an empath, that's got to be rough when with all the shit that's all the injustices that are being carried out at this administration's behest. You know, DPD 2.5 years isn't that long. If you're talking about what to the next election or till the next president that gets sworn in retrospect, when you look back, 2.5 years doesn't seem very long ago. But when we're in real time right now, the point is that there's a lot of shit can happen in 2.5 years, good and bad, I guess. But there's lots of time for lots of bad things to be carried out by this administration. That's the worry. Is how much damage can they do in the next 2.5 years, and will it be so bad that it won't even matter who we elect in 2028? You know, I mean, there's all kinds of scenarios you can take your mind to, and 2028 elections, a couple of years, you could have scenarios where we don't even have elections at all. We're not even America anymore. And hopefully that won't happen, though. So I guess, are you saying it's shrooms because you're afraid that you can't say that or something? Or are you just always doing typos? I don't know. But yeah, Mr. Spock says no shrooms. I thought he meant shrooms are not all that are not for all the time. They reset your brain, one with nature kind of thing. I don't know. I took shrooms a couple times when in college, and I don't remember my brain being reset. I just remember kind of like tripping out. Mad Max says you cannot tell me that Orange Dick Hole didn't use the auto pen when he gave pardons to over 1,000 of the J6 convicts. Give me a break. Oh yeah, well yeah, we know that Trump is a liar and a hypocrite, and of course he's used the auto pen. No matter how much he would complain about Biden using the auto pen, of course. Same thing with the teleprompter. He uses a teleprompter, and but whenever somebody else uses a teleprompter, then he'll say something about that. You know, he's just a fucking hypocrite. He's a big fucking hypocrite. Donald Trump is. Big Hook says the first time I laid eyes on and heard from DJT, I immediately got psychopath vibes of danger from him. I don't know, but I know that I've never liked him, and he's been around in the media since the '80s. What was it I was watching? Something that he popped up in that was from the '80s, and they were making fun of him and stuff. You know, I mean, they knew back then, back in the '80s, that he was just this loser, you know, nepo baby, born into riches, who thought he was some playboy millionaire or whatever. I've never liked him. I've always thought of him as just a sleaze bag, you know. even back to the 80s. Mr. Spock says some people come to terms with their past life horrors on shrooms. I don't know why we're calling them shrooms, while others don't. WW, I tried mushrooms once. All I can remember was laughing my ass off. Couldn't remember after what was so funny. Oh, so those are typos. Yeah, I didn't know if those were typos or if that was you thought you were skirting some sort of YouTube thing or something, you know. Jolie, I definitely need to get a good shroom reset. WW, I don't even remember him from back then. He was mainly a New York City guy. He was in. Well, one of his buddies was the owner of the Enquirer, so that might be why he was in the Enquirer. This is in the 80s. All of his shit, marrying his wives and divorcing his wives and being this millionaire and going to the clubs and everything from the 80s. He was on shows, whatever the equivalent of Entertainment Tonight was in the 80s. They would show him. And I was in California, so I know that California was getting video coverage of Donald Trump back in the fucking 80s. And he's at the grocery store checkout line with the tabloids. He would be on there on the cover back in the fucking 80s. People, you guys not remember that? Do you not remember Donald Trump in the 80s being on the tabloids? I guess you call them tabloids or whatever. They call them tabloids. These things, I'm told they're called tabloids. Yeah, and it's a store where they have this thing called groceries, and apparently there's a thing called a checkout line, and apparently there's a newspaper rack or a magazine rack apparently with these things that they apparently are called tabloids, and I'm on them because I'm doing Trump now, and apparently I was on them and seen. Brooklyn says, speaking of mushrooms, Stormy Daniels. Yeah. WW, the stock market is already getting wise to the manipulations. The peaks were tests. It is becoming a sawtooth up one day, down the next. Yeah, that's Home Alone 2 is one example. Yeah, that's one example. But that was after years and years and years of him. He wouldn't have been in Home Alone 2, I guess, if not for the 80s, being known in the 80s and all those tabloids and shit. Tabloids. Mr. Spock, and that's what Putin, I don't know what Julio wants, to destroy the Western economy, and Trump is bending over to do it. Yeah, this is what Putin has been working for. All of them, China. This is a great opportunity for them to take us down because of a weak-minded, greedy, unpatriotic president like Trump. This is their opportunity to take us down. WW, I saw Home Alone 2 and don't remember the scene. It was a very, very short scene when the kid sees him in a mall or something, isn't it? I don't remember. But then I think since Trump became president in 2016, I think they started like cutting him out of that. Like if it was on streaming or anything like that, they started cutting him out of it, I think. Big Hook says without Russian assistance via Deutsche Bank to guarantee all his loans, Trump would have been broke 25 years ago. Was it Eric or John Jr. that was recorded as saying, Russia money, man. Russia money. Hey, DPD. Thank you so much. Yippee, DPD. Thank you so much. $20 super chat. I appreciate you. There's a heart. There's a thumbs up. My comment about the youth is because I talk to young people in my family and outside of my family all the time, and they are, I think, scared. They'd be sacred, but I think they're scared. But they are sacred for their future. And I know a 28-year-old who had a hysterectomy, easy for you to say, out of fear, which makes me sad. Wow, that's pretty extreme. I mean, you must be really, really, really afraid of the future, I guess, and wanting to bring kids into this world to do that. Wow, that is, yeah. I never would have thought of that. I would have never got a vasectomy because of Trump or whatever if I was, younger. Big Up, he was on a Playboy cover once. Wow, I don't remember that one though. Mad Matt, they call them doorknobs. They are things that are on doors so you can pull them one way or the other. What a word. I should. They call them doorknobs. They are these things on doors so you can pull them one way or the other. What a word, doorknobs. I've always had people to open doors for me. Yeah, that would be something he would say. WW says now, Big Hook, please take no offense. The rumors, conventional gossip is saying the same thing about the Rothschilds and Deutsche Bank. It's not a rumor, though. Deutsche Bank was the only bank that would do any business with him because he had burned so many bridges. He had stiffed so many people. He had filed bankruptcy. He left so many people hanging with millions and millions of dollars that he owed that no one would do business with him anymore. But Deutsche Bank would do it, and only with the backing of Russia. Russia had to guarantee those loans, and that's what kept them afloat. And so Big Hook is exactly 100% correct. This is not rumors. I believe this is verifiable, documented truth. Yeah, that is all true. Deutsche Bank was the only ones that was doing any business with the Trump family. Because, like I said, they had burned so many bridges, had forfeited so many loans. So if it wasn't for Putin and his backing of those loans from Deutsche Bank, they would have gone broke long ago, 25 years ago, like he says. But I think Putin had a master plan. Keep Donald Trump afloat and make him be beholden to him, to Putin, and then do everything in his power as a former KGB psyops operative, and now the fucking leader of Russia, to use all of that to influence, to get Trump to run and influence the campaigns. And then so far it's worked out pretty good for him, Big Hook says, W. Justice Kennedy retired to allow Kavanaugh because his son, Kennedy, not Kavanaugh, but Kennedy's son, Justice Kennedy's son, was on the board of Deutsche Bank, and Trump threatened to reveal the Russian payoffs to him unless he played along. Oh, Hal's on. I didn't realize. I went right into Hal here. Well, should we do a raid? A 17-person raid? Look at there. All you guys who are going to go to Hal, say hi from Trucker John. Yeah, I just gave Hal a thumbs up. All right, guys, I guess we should end the show. It's the one show that I don't like to overlap with. All the other shows can go to hell. I'm just kidding. But when it comes to Hal, I don't like to overlap Hal. And we are over 2 hours already. God, we're over. I didn't even realize. I realized I was over 2 hours. So again, thank you for the dono, DPD, yippee. Thank you for all the likes, subscribing, the sharing. I appreciate it. Anyone who goes over to Hal Sparks, please say hi from Trucker John. I would appreciate it. And I'll be over there shortly. As soon as I wrap up here, I'll be lurking probably. And while I go about my day here. So that's about it. Yeah, we're gonna go. There's the link for Hal Sparks. Thank you, Jolie. You go over there, say hi from Trucker John or something like that. I guess that's it for today. And I didn't even realize. I just lose track of time. I mean, duh. I started at 1, so obviously I was going to get into the 3 o'clock hour, but lost track. Yeah, it's pretty easy to do for Trucker John. He's pretty much a scatterbrained. He's losing it. He's losing his marbles, guys. I hate to tell you this, but someday I think it is going to become the Tough Cookie live stream. I think I'm probably going to be taking over at some point because Trucker John is day by day just losing his marbles. Poor old guy. Feel sorry for him. I really do. Trucker John wants me to remind everyone, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. He really wants to crack open that bottle of Hennessy. I think it soothes the dementia. I don't know. But thanks for being here. Yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. We'll see you again on is it Saturday? Yeah, we'll be here on Saturday. What day is today? Boy, my profile looks a lot like Trucker John. We'll see you again on Saturday, right after House Sparks at 11 a.m. All right, we'll see you then. Be there, be square, or be square. All right, guys, thanks for popping in. You know, it's in the contract. They have to make an appearance. I can't help it. There's a contractual thing. No matter what, they have to come in. It's just a thing. So I don't tell you. All right, if you guys haven't gone over to House Sparks yet, and you want to get today's words of wisdom, make sure you have something to write this down with. Okay, you guys ready? All right, so.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I try to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid, but doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. My apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road. people that nobody knows. So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road. Just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret. It'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. It's so damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life. Everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot. You're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. I don't mourn when evil men die. I don't feel sad, and I don't cry. Sometimes I wonder why it takes so long for evil men to die. But I want you to know that when you go, you won't be missed. And the ground where you'll lay, we're all gonna take a big giant piss. And for your end, we all anticipate, without any love and too exhausted to hate. Your long-lasting legacy will be one of disgrace and shame. Throughout the annals of history, your name will shrink, you'll lose your fame. And as you lay there drawing in your final breath, just know that you made us happiest in death. You will not be thought of kindly, and you won't be missed. And like I said before, on the ground you'll lay, I'm gonna take a big old piss.
Show's over. I'm out of here, folks. Bye.